I can't hide this.
I'm in the arena back here, dude. It's pretty sick.
You're in LCA right now,
yeah,
Sean?
dude.
I mean,
yeah.
Dude.
Tom Gore's just like, hey, just don't leave the lights on. I was like, you got it.
Appreciate you, Tom.
Yeah. Appreciates you, Tom. And now the Pistons pick at 5.
You go first, Sean. And we'll run down.
What's that?
You go first. I want to hear yours first. We'll go down the entire line because I think we might all disagree. We might all agree. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
With the 5th pick in the 2022 NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons select What is going on? I want to welcome you from Half Court for today, Wednesday, May 25th, 2022. I'm your host, Sean Murphy, alongside my guys, Jeff Iafrady and Troy Sergey. Troy, how's it going?
I'm doing good, Sean. I'm going good. I'm doing good. All the above. Looking forward to talking some draft. One of my favorite parts of the basketball season. And it's fun how, a couple of weeks before the draft, of course, is the NBA Finals. So you get to watch the NBA Finals in the beginning of June. And then just a couple of short weeks later, we have the draft. So really, the summer starts off well always when it comes to hoops. So looking forward to the next couple of weeks, Sean.
This is my favorite time of the year, man. First of all, guys, I will reveal this to you all. When this episode comes out, this will be my first ever birthday from Half Court. So this is coming out on my birthday. So that's cool. But on top of that, we hit 1,000 subscribers last week as well. So thank you to everybody that hit that subscribe button. It's going to allow us to do a lot of things here from Half Court. And now we can really start looking at how we can make this thing grow and how we can just keep making better content for you guys. So there's going to be some really cool stuff coming soon. We can't talk about quite yet. We're still going to figure that out, but be sure to be on the lookout. But also be sure to subscribe and follow, because this is From Half Court Reach, and every week we talk about all things NBA basketball. And if you'd like that, you better be sure to be here, because myself, Jeff, Troy, and a slew of other casts and crew and characters and fellas and people are going to be here talking basketball. But with that, guys, let's talk about, first of all, Jeff, tonight we have a throwdown against the Woodward Heavyweights, the tag team battle of the century in NBA debates on the courthouse. You and myself are taking on Easy and Spencer, and Easy has been wild lately. So Easy, be ready, because we're going to be ready for that.
And I want Easy to bring the smoke. He knows that, and he will. But we got to clear a couple things up.
Yeah.
But I'll just say that. They got it. Everyone has to tune in. But
I'm afraid he hates Jaden Ivey. Confirmed.
That's a button now? That's a button?
Troy, I'm afraid he hates Jaden Ivey. Confirmed.
Troy, please help me. Listen,
this is a cry for help. I am no longer joking. Please call for help. This is a cry for help. This is a cry for help. Jeff, I'm afraid he hates Jaden Ivey. Confirmed. Those are the new.
Why don't we get a Jalen Brunson's too much money button too?
Nope, that button doesn't exist because there's not enough money in the world for that man. He's too good. But anyway, guys, we are today going to be doing our NBA mock draft. We will be doing that here in a moment. But first, let's talk about the NBA draft lottery, because last podcast we couldn't, because we recorded beforehand. Troy, you haven't been able to give your opinion and your thoughts on what went down. What was your initial reaction on lottery night, and how are you feeling today?
Yeah. So initial reaction, at least in the couple minutes after lottery night, I was a little upset because I really did want that top 3 pick. But the more and more I thought about it, it grew on me, because I still think it's mathematically possible that the best player in this draft is available at 5.
It's probable. It's very possible.
Very possible. If that's Jaden Ivey, if that's Keegan Murray, if that's Shaedon Sharpe, we don't know. But I trust in Troy, and not myself, but the other one. And
I trust in you too, Troy. That's why you're here. Except when you say Jimmy Butler's never made the finals, and I'm like, Troy, what are we doing here?
Just a brain fart. I don't know what happened there. But, no, but seriously, guys, I think that we're going to get a great player. We're going to get an impactful player. And you look at other names in the past too, who's been available at 5. And I'm not saying that we're going to get a caliber like this, but what does Ray Allen, Dwayne Wade, and Vince Carter all have in common? All of number 5 picks, right? So the fact that we can't get an all-star caliber player at 5 is it's
not true.
Insane. It's not true. It's delusional to think that. So
also you're still getting a top 5 player. Like you're still getting your pick at the 5th highest spot in the draft. That's still a good pick.
Right. And not just that, Sean, but think about this. You look at a guy that we've been talking about, Ivy, right? He's the best point guard in this draft. So we have an opportunity to get a best position at this draft too, in the entire draft. So that's another thing that I don't think people talk about enough.
Right.
Yeah. And another thing is in this draft specifically, there's not a consensus number 1 guy.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's big. I mean, if we were picking in top 3, there's 3 guys you're comfortable with, but like you said, Troy, you can find possibly the best player at 5. So what a draft to do it. This isn't last year where there's still great players, but you know that number 1 guy is just a little bit better.
This draft, remind ourselves, we have Kate Cunningham. So like whoever we bring in, we bring in, Kate Cunningham is going to maximize the ability of that player, and also is going to put him in a position where they don't have to do as much. It could very much be like an Evan Mobley or Scotty Barnes situation last year, where you have a rookie who comes in, the team wins, and we could actually have a rookie of the year in Detroit next year.
And how many great rookies came out last year? Like you can name 4 or 5 of them, maybe 6 of them. So,
and how many young players do we have in these playoffs score 30 or 40 plus points? I mean, we're just seeing this is the time where young players are taking over the league. So really, whoever comes in can really have an impact day 1. And I think whether that's Keegan Murray, whether that's Shaedon Sharpe, whether that's Jaden Ivey, in my opinion, those are the 3 that we're looking at right now, assuming the Pistons do not trade up, however.
Yeah. Or if potentially, I mean, it's possible that OKC or Houston could just make a bonkers pick, as in pick one of those 3 guys. Potentially. They really could pick one of those 3 guys.
Really could. Yeah,
which really leaves one of those guys available for us at 5. So
But first, guys, I do want to talk about, before we get into the draft, because there's a lot to dive into there. I would be remiss if we didn't discuss the Eastern or Western Conference Finals and what's been going on so far. So let's start with the Western Conference Finals, because I'm shocked at how not even close this series has been. I mean, the Mavericks have looked competitive at points, but the Warriors have always had an answer. And honestly, I think it makes the Phoenix Suns look worse.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Like this Mavericks team, this team got to the Western Conference Finals.
And I think that's kind of tells you a lot about how great the Warriors are.
Yeah.
Because the Warriors, I think, and people forget this, and I think they've been to more finals than lost playoff games since they went on this entire run. So, I mean, people forget. I mean, especially this year, they all got back healthy, and now against the Mavericks, what you're seeing is a team that, despite they were down in game 2, but with down 14 at the half, and then the second half, the rest is history. They come back and win. So the Warriors have pedigree. They have guys they could throw at you. I mean, you're seeing it with Andrew Wiggins and Luka Doncic.
But by the way, a guy that everyone was like, what are you doing signing this guy? Why would you bring him in? Yet you realize the Warriors system is so good, and it allows players to really just do what they need to do, which is just be themselves, which is all they're asking Andrew Wiggins to be.
And the big thing is they can beat you even when Steph or Klay is having a bad night.
Right.
Yep.
And that's the big thing, because with the Mavericks, what you're seeing is Luka have these great games, but they're not winning. And I think if this, correct me if I'm wrong, and anybody in the comments, but I believe I read the stat, the Mavericks are better when Luka scores less than 30 points, or I think it's 40. I think it's 40 points, because you need a surrounding. Luka's great, but Luka's not going to single-handedly beat these Warriors. Like that's just not going to happen. So you're seeing the Warriors complete team. They have a mix of veterans with great young talent, and James Wiseman is chilling. And they're doing all of this. So, man, the Warriors are my favorite to win. It's not really a bold prediction, but I got the Warriors winning. I got Steph winning Finals MVP. Yeah. I'm gonna stay on that train. I think I think Steph gets his first Finals MVP, and it's gonna be a big year for the Warriors. Because think about it, guys. they're going to have a lot of decisions to make. Andrew
Yeah.
Wiggins, Jordan Poole. Like, this could potentially be the last year, unless they want to let these guys go into their contract year with everybody together. So
Right.
Warriors look damn good.
Yeah, they really do. And in my opinion, I definitely think they've been the best looking team so far, because if you go on the Eastern Conference side, I'm going to be honest, guys. I feel very vindicated on my Miami Heat take. Despite the fact they're up 2-1, I still think Boston's winning this series in 6. Yeah. However, here's the thing. Game 3 pissed me off because I feel like Boston is playing with their food a little bit. I think they're letting Miami get in their heads. I think Jason Tatum is getting agitated by the Heat and what they're doing, and I think he's letting it get to his head, and I think it's stopping them from realizing what they need to do. I think they're getting pressure in the passing lanes. I think they're causing a lot of turnovers, and I think you're just seeing a Boston Celtics team that mentally was outplayed the other night. And so, in my opinion, if you've looked at the talent and how these two teams have matched up, guys, it's not even close. Boston's the better team.
Right. And I think part of that game 3, which why it was so rough, was they just came out so slow. Miami just came out of the gate so hot and so quick that it was just hard to play catch up with that Miami team.
Right.
Give them credit, they are still a good team. They're the number 1 seed. I mean, we're not knocking them too bad, but it's so hard to play from behind in the NBA, especially in the playoffs, no matter who you're playing against. And I think that's why they lost that game ultimately, because we saw them come back to a degree too. I mean, they were very much within striking distance. Yeah. So that's another thing to remember too. And just one quickly going back to our Warriors take, guys. I remember in that 2019-2020 season, the one where the Warriors were struggling. That was kind of their downfall after.
When they were ass cheeks.
Yeah. When they lost to the Raptors in the finals the year after that.
Yeah.
I remember people were all complaining of, oh, the Warriors are going to get a top draft pick and they're going to, be ready when Clay comes back and they're just going to win. And this isn't fair. But guess what, guys? They're doing that without their top draft pick, James Wiseman.
They're doing it anyway.
Which even makes it more impressive.
Yeah.
And I think one point to add with the Boston and Miami series is, if you think about it, Boston's had 2 bad quarters.
Yep.
And they're down 2-1.
Yep.
Like, think about that. 2 bad quarters and you're down 2-1.
Yeah.
So a lot of and you see the percentages, a team that goes up, 2-1 wins 70% of the time, whatever that is. But Boston's been playing good.
They still need a point guard too, though. They still need a guy that can, and it's just one of those things where it's like
Marcus Smart's out tonight, by the way. Marcus Smart's out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Marcus Smart, I love him. He's a great player. But in my humble opinion, I think this team is in need of a better point guard. And I think, however, I don't know if they can show that up this summer, but they better win now while they can, because I think if they don't win the finals this year, I think this weakness can really bite them in the ass. And so looking at how things are going to go, I really expect, right now as we're recording, I mean, game 4 is happening tonight. So I'm fully expecting Boston wins by 20. I'm expecting Boston as a statement game. This is at home. They're going to be pissed. They lost that game. It was ugly. I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both had big performances. I think Jimmy Butler has his worst game of the series, and I think they put the clamps on.
And Jimmy's banged up too. I mean, he played 20 minutes last game. They didn't really necessarily need him. I mean, they did towards the end in the stretch. He got way closer than they like. But Jimmy has that knee issue. It's like the knee the swollen knee, whatever it is. He'll be playing. But I always question, guys are always playing hurt in the playoffs. That's why I hate when injuries get brought up, when like Chris Paul's injured, like all this stuff. He's going to be playing banged up. I just question how much or how long does he play?
Right.
And how much, mobility does he have? So they're going to need him. They're going to need Jimmy.
Absolutely.
They're going to need Jimmy in Boston. No doubt.
Yeah, most definitely. But I ultimately, I think we're looking at a Boston Golden State finals, which guys, when I think of celebrating the 75th anniversary of the NBA,
absolutely.
I cannot argue with that matchup being one of the best ones, because as far as, first of all, having the storied franchise of the Boston Celtics, for how many finals they've been to, be at the 75th anniversary finals, in my opinion, feels fitting. So then you have that
absolutely.
team. You have that team of the past facing the dynasty of the future and the present. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then you have the new guard of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But you have the old guard of Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. There's all the storylines you can make of it, man. And you know, this it's going to be a great series.
And I think one of the coolest storylines was just this Boston franchise is they've been so close.
I was just going to say
years.
that. Yeah.
And now they're finally here. Exactly. 12 years since their last finals, but they were so close in so many of those in between, especially the Cavs series back in 2018. Even with the Paul Pierce kind of era back in 2011, 2012, during the kind of the end of that. But still, they had so many opportunities. Game 7. And here we are potentially seeing them in the finals. So
we are going to learn a lot about how legitimate these teams are when they face up, because in my opinion, I think that a lot of their weaknesses, their strengths are going to be exposed, and in matchup wise, I could really see it going either way. So it's going to be a great series.
I think something that I know people have talked about, I don't think enough people are talking about, is the Warriors are the only team that have experience in the finals out of all these. I mean, listen, Miami's been there in the bubble. I'll give them credit. But the Warriors are going to be
that have won at that level.
And been them now. They're comfortable. I mean, they've all been here. Yes, Jordan Poole and the young guys haven't, but still, like that's I think that's what's going to separate. That's why I'm so high on the Warriors right now, is because I just see them mentally just they're going to be able to overcome whatever these teams are going to, the same thing, but they're going to easier to adjust to it. So,
well, even Warriors, just off instinct, how do you bet against Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson? How do you? You know what I mean? And then in addition with Andrew Wiggins, who's a supercharged Harrison Barnes, and then Jordan Poole, who's the total X factor of the playoffs. If he goes off, this Warriors team's unbeatable. If he's a whimper, this team's very beatable. So,
you could throw Wiggins on Tatum, like you could throw Wiggins on Jaylen Brown. You could throw him on both of them at different times. Like it'd be great.
And Luka's great, but this roster for Dallas just isn't there yet. This team had a very, very clear limit. And I get Nick Wright was feeling really self-righteous about his take on the Mavericks. And they got farther than they should have. This was, every year there's a playoff team that gets farther than they should. And this year it was the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. But I still would think this Mavericks team is better than last year's Hawks team.
Oh, 100. Oh, yeah. That last year's the Hawks are buns. As far as like franchises that like going forward, I have no faith in them. None. Negative.
Damn, Sean.
Negative faith.
Last year
just got astray.
Well, dude, they brought it back, and look how terrible they don't even try to defend.
I know.
They're not even pretending that side of the ball matters.
I know. By the way, Atlanta,
get that bull out of here, dog.
You don't like Kevin Huerter?
Yeah. All right. Sean. So now moving on to the draft. I mean, I don't like
Kevin Huerter, man.
I don't like Luka. I don't like Kevin Huerter more than Luka Doncic. I know that much. And that's what I got in return.
I gotta love the teams that make it to the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference Finals, and you just look at yourself like, what in the F?
Yeah, 100%. Guys, it is now time for our NBA mock draft. Here's how it's gonna work. So we are currently on RealGM.com, and they have a fantasy sim draft right now, and we're looking at the Orlando Magic. We are going to go through the NBA draft lottery, probably just the first 10 picks. And we're going to together talk about who we would draft and what we think they're going to do. And so with that, guys, let us start at the number 1 overall pick. The Orlando Magic win the lottery. And for the first time since Dwight Howard, are going to have the opportunity to pick at the top of the class. Jeff, who do you have the Orlando Magic taking?
I'm getting Mo Bamba's replacement. Give me Chet Holmgren. I mean, that's for me. Listen, this is a team that's going to lose Mo Bamba in free agency. It could be Jabari Smith too. Very well. Those are the two guys.
Could be.
Very well could be Jabari, but in my heart, I just see this team. Listen, you have, your 1 through 3 pretty much set, especially through the draft. Cole, Jalen Suggs, and Franz, and then now you address the position you're going to need. Wendell Carter's great, but the things Chet Holmgren can do, he's worthy of a number 1 pick. So give me Chet Holmgren to the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, absolutely. Troy, what about you?
I'm going to have to go with Jabari Smith the second, because here's the thing. In my opinion, he's the best available player at number 1. I think he has the highest upside.
I would agree with you because I am a Jabari Smith lover, but I'm thinking of the Magic. I'm trying to think of what the Magic.
I just think his upside exceeds Chet's, and I've heard rumors. Again, these are Twitter rumors, so I can't confirm them. That some teams are not passing, but a little bit afraid of Chet with his size. And we've talked about Chet. We don't even get into details about that. But the fact that some GMs, and I feel like if any teams are going to pass on Chet, it's probably going to be 1 and 2, one of the two, either OKC or Orlando. But I'm still going to have to go with the best available player, and for me, I'm going to have to go with Jabari Smith Jr.
Well, Troy, the last time you brought a rumor to our attention, it was from Butthole Sports.
No, don't do him like that.
So,
don't do him like that.
It was like Butthole Finger Sports or something like that.
I thought it was Ballsack Sports.
It was Ballsack Sports. Yep, that makes it better. But anyway, I'm going with Chet Holmgren as well, and here's why. It's not because in my opinion, it's not just because I think he's the best player available, but in my opinion, if you look at the Orlando Magic, you're looking to get the home run with the number 1 overall pick. And if you're looking on who you're going to build the foundation of your franchise on, in my opinion, you go with the biggest home run pick you can get in this draft. In my opinion, I think with what Chet offers, he just fits the Orlando Magic's needs. Like you said, replace Wnba, but also be the guy that runs the offense, things that you can play around, get the pick and roll game with Suggs and Chet, and really just try and maximize this team.
Right.
Just really build around the youth movement, get a guy that can anchor you defensively, and a guy who, just like Dwight Howard or just like Tracy McGrady or Shaq or like any of these prospects we've seen go to Orlando, go be the home run pick and go run the freaking league down in Orlando in the Amway Center, you know? So in my opinion, I think that's just the home run pick for them. I just feel like Chet at 1, in my opinion, just feels like a lock to me.
And to Troy's point, I could very well see any general manager for that point being like, listen, my job's on the line.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Jabari Smith. But just a part of me, I mean, to kind of echo what you said, Sean, Chet, then you have 3 guys that can go score and do other things. Then you have Chet, who doesn't have to score and can still have an impact on the game. So I think it'd be a great fit for him. And then if they have Jonathan Isaac come back from injury and all that other stuff comes back into play, I think they got a pretty formidable team.
Yep, absolutely. So now Chet is off the board. We now go to the 2nd overall pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder. These mother who have every mother pick available over the next 7 years. How many picks can a team? Oh my God! Anyway,
I know.
But they also got the 2nd overall pick this year's draft, and with it, guys, who are they selecting at 2 overall? Troy.
I know. Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
I know
for me, it has to be Chet because I picked Jabari Smith.
Okay.
But I mean, it's you guys are going to pick Jabari Smith because you already picked Chet. So yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, think about this too. And this is a comparison. I'm not making the comparison. 2nd overall, Oklahoma City Thunder, 6'11" forward who can get buckets. They're going to love Jabari Smith. All right. I'm not saying he's going to be Kevin Durant, but I think he's going 2nd. If he doesn't go 1st, he's going 2nd. He's book it.
Yeah.
Book it.
Yeah, 100%. He's 1 or 2 in this draft. They'll
love him.
And in my opinion, I think the fit in Oklahoma City is really good for him. I think they have a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which, by the way, all the trade rumors that are around him are really weird. It sounds like Oklahoma City's not committing to anything, so you don't really know what they could do. But in my opinion, you're looking to add talent and a guy like if you're just looking to get good players to like come in and play with the young talent that they have, Jabari Smith, you could throw him into Oklahoma City right away, and he's gonna do great things there.
And Giddey's so unselfish. I mean, that fit would be Mac. He would love to. I mean, feed that guy. Jabari Smith would be getting buckets.
Yeah. So Jabari Smith Jr. at Oklahoma City, in my opinion, that feels pretty safe. If these guys are interchangeable at the top, in my opinion, but Orlando, if I'm looking at what they're gonna do, I think they want to go for the home run swing. Now, Houston, in my opinion, I think Houston's going to try to trade out of this pick. I could see it. But at the same time, it's hard to envision them doing that because of what they can get at the top, because passing on the potential player they could get at 3.
Yeah.
is really difficult. However,
could be the best player too.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Jeff.
You don't know.
If you're the Houston Rockets, what are you doing at 3?
So this is tough, not tough for me because it's gonna be Paolo Banchero. But a part of me wonders if you get rid of John Wall, why not Jaden Ivey?
Right.
Jaden Ivey as your point guard, and then you have Jalen Green, and you can put the ball in Jaden Ivey's hands. He can create. Jalen Green can do what he does best: go get buckets
and run those guys in the pick and roll with Şengün. Like
Christian
just
Wood.
keep.
Okay, love the fit, but I'm still going Paulo. He's the best player on the board. You're not passing on him.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just not passing on him. So give me Paolo Banchero.
Yeah,
I'm also going to go with Paulo. I think we saw a great tournament out of him.
Oh,
and I think
that's
going to say a lot about his upside and how he plays under pressure and how he impacts the team. So Paulo,
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't love the fit of Paulo in Houston.
Me neither.
Yeah,
if we're just drafting off of who the best player available is,
that's what it is.
Yeah, and that's purely what it is. But guys, like if we're just talking about the fit, first of all, we're already talking about concerns of Paulo defensively, and Steven Silas did not do a great job in his second year with Houston. The locker room wasn't exactly buzzed about quite like Detroit's. And we didn't really see the turnaround from this team either. And if anything, we just saw regression. I mean, we saw Jalen Green put up, but I would say...
But he didn't affect a whole lot of winning.
Yeah, it was a struggle to the finish line for them. So, if in my opinion, just culture-wise, I don't see Paulo getting the accountability on the defensive end that he needs.
And is that the reason? Is that the reason, Sean, why you think they would want to trade out of it, or do you think there's something deeper than that?
I just think, I just think whether they can get multiple picks just because they need more talent, whether it's just there's not a great fit with them at 3 because it is an awkward spot to be in, whether they think they can trade down and get another guy like Ivy or Keegan Murray or someone else in this draft. It's an awkward spot to be in. But at the same time, I mean, Paulo and Jalen Green offensively, that could be a heck of a duo, especially pick and roll and how versatile they are. Like that could be explosive. So at the same time, even if you don't love the fit, I'd say you take the swing.
Yep.
Because you get the best player available. And if you're Houston, you're not really in the luxury of begging. You got to take who's available. The Sacramento Kings, these mother. All right, now, so as of when this comes out, we will have already done a live podcast with a beat writer who covers the Sacramento Kings. But guys, what the hell do they do here? Because they could go so many different directions. Troy, I'm curious to hear your opinion. What do the Sacramento Kings do it for?
Yeah, it breaks my heart to say this, but I think they're still kind of in a win now mode in the weirdest way ever. And I think they're going to have to go with Keegan Murray at 4. I think I strongly agree with our bro Ashton, what he tweeted last night of he's the most NBA ready, Keegan Murray, in this draft class. I think he can impact them, I guess impact them to a degree because they're Sacramento, but I think he can impact them right off the gates. And,
this team needs a wing. They need a wing.
I was going to say, there's your Harrison Barnes replacement on a rookie contract.
But
not saying he's going to be Harrison. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you're going to move on from Harrison, like you said, they need wings. There's your future right there.
But I think this guy can impact us, Detroit, if somehow he's still available at 5. I just want to say that too. I loved your guys' video last week of Keegan Murray because I think you guys both did a good job. And if you haven't checked it out, go check out Sean and Jeff's take on Keegan Murray of the Pistons because it's a good video. So
yeah, I mean, he's definitely, he's definitely, in my opinion, the most NBA ready player in this draft as far as plug and play can come in and have a positive impact. I think a lot of guys are NBA ready, but like as far as this guy is going to produce. And so if you're looking at the Kings, it's like you either go with a risk because you just need something to really bring this team to a different level, or you really just double down and just say, we really want to get to the playoffs this year. So let's get a good rookie who can come in and contribute now. Right. So Jeff, with that, what are your thoughts?
I don't mind it. I think Keegan Murray would be a great fit. Part of me,
But if you're the general manager, who are you drafting?
A part of me wants to try and reconcile and make up for that Tyrese Halliburton trade. A part of me really does. But they did draft Mitchell last year, so they do have that. I'm gonna, you know what? I like Keegan Murray. I think that's a good fit. To Troy's point, I think he fits their timeline. He fits the mold, like you said, most NBA ready. And if I'm predicting the Kings correctly, this isn't a shot, but I think they'll go the safe route. They'll take Keegan Murray, but who knows? I think Shaedon Sharpe. I think Shaedon Sharpe. If you win at 4, would any of us be very surprised? I don't think so.
Sharpe is very much at play at 4.
Yeah,
very much in play. In my opinion, you go with Keegan Murray because of the value, just because of what he can bring, just like the dependability of it, and like you're looking at the Kings. And I think you're just looking at, we just want the safest draft possible because we need to build around Sabonis. We need to make it work around De'Aaron Fox. Let's get him another shooter, another guy who can play decent offense and can potentially develop into a good wing. And like you said, a Harrison Barnes replacement down the road. And so I don't think they think very big picture on this one. I think they go there. But now, guys.
Oh, baby. We get to the pudding.
Detroit basketball.
We're so extra, man. But I love it. I love it.
Hey, I'm never not going to be extra. You know
that's
that.
Fact. I love it, and that's what I love about you.
I can't ever not be extra. It's just who I am. The Detroit Pistons, ladies and gentlemen.
You see the damn flag. I mean, you got a hat. We got the flag. I mean,
dude, we got the hat
all over the place, man. I can't hide it. I can't hide this.
I'm in the arena back here, dude. It's pretty sick.
You're in LCA right now,
yeah,
Sean?
dude.
I mean,
yeah.
Dude.
Tom Gore's just like, hey, just don't leave the lights on. I was like, you got it.
Appreciate you, Tom.
Yeah. Appreciates you, Tom. And now the Pistons pick at 5.
You go first, Sean. We'll run down.
What's that?
You go first. I want to hear yours first. We'll go down the entire line because I think we might all disagree. We might all agree. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
With the 5th pick in the 2022 NBA draft, the Detroit Pistons select Jaden Ivey of Purdue.
Okay. All right.
You sounded like the 2K guy when you're.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for. With
the
did, absolutely. Pick, they select a player out of Michigan State University. I got a real star out of this one, man.
It's the point guard out of Michigan State.
Yeah, point guard out of Michigan State. But in my opinion, you go with the most surefire, solid guard you can get in this draft. He might not. In my opinion, he's the Jabari Smith of guards. He's a safe, reliable pick who can come in, and at the very least, is going to be a good starter in this league. I think offensively, he can come in and he can average 15 a game.
Yeah.
So I really like Jaden Ivey. Jeff, how are you feeling right now? Be honest. Who are you picking if you're Troy Weaver? And if it's not Jaden Ivey, it's okay. Because I know Jeff Firefade, he hates Jaden Ivey confirmed. I'm kidding. You like Jaden Ivey. Let's be clear. Jeff likes Jaden Ivey. Let's be clear on that.
Thank you, Sean.
Jeff, who you draft him?
And I have to say this too. This is not going to help my narrative because I'm going with Shaedon Sharpe. All right, and this is why. Let me explain.
I know you are.
Let me explain. So I kind of explained.
Not even there.
Ivey, I don't. They're like,
well, they have this thing down here where they have their own system where they rate the best players available. So he is on here. You just go down here and it's just an H, like Shaedon Sharpe. He's right here.
Okay. All right. So let me explain myself. So a part of me, when I look at this draft, we have Cade. And that's a big part of this puzzle. And we have it.
Yep.
I think the Pistons, and we suck this year, and I don't know what it's going to be like next year. We could be in play-in contention. We could suck again. But in my mind, I want us to take the next step. And a player that I think that has the highest upside can help us in taking them. Now, you have to be more patient. I understand that.
Yeah.
But I think selecting Shaedon will pay off in the long run. Now, we don't know what any of these guys are going to be, but I just think if you suck,
we definitely don't know what Shaedon Sharpe's going to be.
Very true. And if you suck this bad, I just want to let's take a swing, baby. Let's swing for a home run. And I'm going with Shaedon Sharpe. I love it. I love the fit. A lot of his strengths and Cade's strengths, they'll work well together. So, but I get Jaden Ivey too. Listen, I'm leaning a guard. I mean, we've been talking about Keegan Murray, but I think I'm settled with myself this is going to be a backcourt mate with Cade. I'm hoping it is. That's kind of where I'm going. Jaden Ivey or Shaedon Sharpe, either one.
Yeah, but it also very well could be Keegan Murray. I have a very hard time if Keegan Murray's on the board at 5.
Yeah.
Seeing him not being taken there. But Troy, who are you selecting?
Yeah, just going briefly off of what your last point was, Sean, is I would, if I had to choose, aka out of these 3 of who's available, it would be Keegan Murray, but obviously in our little mock, we think he's going to Sacramento. So yes, I'm also going to have to go with Jaden Ivey. I think he's the safest option. I think he's the most talented option. And I think that's the thing that Troy Weaver is looking for is the talent to go along with these guys like Saddiq Bey, obviously Cade Cunningham. And I think it gives us an opportunity now to keep Jeremy Grant, which is an interesting perspective, unless, of course, we trade him for 7.
I still think we're very much in play at 7, by the way. And so
a play at what did you say? Like a trade? Is that what you meant?
Yeah. Which we'll get to what I'm doing here in a minute. Don't you worry. We'll get there in a second.
So with that being said, I've loved Ivy since Ivy was the first prospect that I really looked at, even before I really looked at Chet and Jabari Smith back in the regular season for college. So my heart is happy seeing Ivy still available potentially at 5. So
absolutely. Now, guys, the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
Now here, this team's a wild card because you really don't know what direction they're going to go. However, if you're asking me, what on this board looks like an Indiana Pacers draft selection, guys, AJ Griffin out of Duke is going to be an Indiana Pacer. Is he not?
I mean, no, I don't really have any disagreements on that. A guy who, one of the best shooters, if not, especially out of the guards, the best shooter in this draft, and the wings especially. So I like AJ Griffin. I think he, if not the youngest player, I think Shaden's obviously, he might even be younger than Shaedon Sharpe. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's like 18 in a couple months, whatever it is, almost 19 years old. So I think he's got a lot of upside. And he'll bring a lot of tools that the Pacers are looking for. So I'm happy with AJ Griffin.
And I think they're looking to get just like a solid prospect, a guy who can come in, someone that they know who he is, can be a solid shooter in the backcourt, someone that's just, you can never go with enough shooting, build around the core that you have.
Do you guys see a scenario where if Shaedon Sharpe's still on the board, you think any of these teams will swing at him, especially like 7 or 6?
Yeah,
even, right?
I think Portland will, and that's why I'm actually going to go ahead.
We'll get to what I think is going to happen.
All right.
And we'll stick with the Pacers. You don't see a scenario where the Pacers say,
I got something.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Because the Pacers, in my opinion, the Pacers are a very specific brand of basketball. Yeah. And if you're looking at that specific brand, just historically over time, Shaedon Sharpe has not been that type of player that they bring in. They're not adding those explosive slasher guys. I think AJ Griffin fits the mold of what the Pacers basketball is.
I'm going to agree with that, but I'm not going to go AJ Griffin. I think you're going to have a little slasher because I think he brings energy to this Pacers team with Tyrese Halliburton. That is why I am going to go with Benedict Mathurin.
Oh, okay. I could see that. So, Jeff, who are you voting for? Based off of the conversation.
It's funny too. Ben Matherin's I think he's gotten some Victor Oladipo comparisons too. So but again, I'm probably going to stick with AJ Griffin. Not that I love them both. It's really what flavor you prefer. I just think what AJ Griffin's going to bring is that shooting. And if you look at the Pacers roster, I mean, besides Buddy Hield and Tyrese, they need more shooting. They need guys that can space the floor. So especially at the wing position. I mean, TJ Warren, he's out the door. So give me AJ Griffin. I think he'll be a great fit.
Now, guys, at 7, we have the Portland Trailblazers. However, in my mock draft, the Portland Trailblazers trade with the Detroit Pistons, and with the 7th pick, the Detroit Pistons select.
This is easy for me.
Shaedon Sharpe. We go with both, baby.
Take them both. So you don't have to have a favorite when we got them both.
No, all right. Let's just stick with Portland having this pick.
Okay.
It's Shaedon Sharpe, right?
Yeah. I would have to say that.
Yeah.
I would say go get your guy that you think you can pair around. That last backcourt pairing might not have worked. Shaedon Sharpe maybe has a different element to his game, a little bit bigger guard. Maybe you just say this is a different backcourt. Maybe a different tone type of backcourt, guys that maybe play different type of games.
Interesting that he's on this team, but I would say like a worst case scenario for a Shaedon Sharpe of who he ends up being is like a Ben McLemore.
Yeah.
That's my worst case scenario.
And if the Pistons do acquire this 7th pick, it's Jalen Duren to me. Like that's the guy for me. But again, we don't know. So picking for the Portland Trailblazers, I think Shaedon Sharpe's a perfect fit.
Yeah, for sure. Getting talent there, and again, there's the odds are that Shaedon Sharpe very well might not be on the board. But again, the Indiana Pacers, just as far as the type of player they bring in, what type of culture they are, Shaedon Sharpe just doesn't seem like that's a fit to me. So,
and Sean, I know you based your opinion and what you would want with that trade, if possible, with 7. But how likely is that trade?
Oh no. No. There's no way they go with Ivy and Sharpe. No, not a chance. I mean, as much as I want them to, that would be sick. Mm-hmm. We would have the coolest trio of guards in the league. We would be awesome. But that's okay. The New Orleans Pelicans, a team that just came off of a very good run. Very impressed a lot of people. Did some good things. Guys, what are you feeling for the Pelicans here? They looking at their depth chart, they could definitely use some help at the guard position right now. Definitely some wings as well. They could use some help a little bit of everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I think they can use help from a guy named Ben Mathurin. I think that's kind of someone I'm feeling like that can come in and contribute right away. Mm-hmm. You have CJ McCollum, then you have Ben Mathurin who could pick up your best player on the perimeter. So I think it's a great fit. He can space the floor for him, and he'll work well with multiple stars. Ben can kind of just like we were talking about this, Sean, with Ben Mathurin. He'd fit great there.
Yeah, he fits the profile and the mold of players that they've been bringing in as well, as far as 3-and-D perimeter defenders, guys who can switch and play positionless basketball. Imagine Herb Jones and Ben Mathurin on the floor at the same time playing defense. Just 2 guys like that at once. That's just a dangerous combination. Troy, what about you?
Yeah, well, in my little draft, I don't have Ben Mathurin available, so I'm gonna have to do Sharpe. But with this, I mean, Mathurin's definitely the best available pick. So.
And shout out Willie Green too from Detroit. So. Always loved Willie Green.
Big time.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, absolutely. And in my opinion, it's great for this team that had such a good run to be able to come in and get that type of value in the draft this year. Good for you, man. That is a great place to be. Now, the San Antonio Spurs. This, based off of where we're going right now, you want to talk about a perfect home for Jalen Duren?
Yeah.
The house that David Robinson and Tim Duncan built. Come in, be the heir apparent, play power forward, give some of that muscle that they're looking for in San Antonio. Go compliment DeJounte Murray. Go help Pop in his last final years. Have some fun basketball. Play competitive and be in the play-in tournament. Have a good ass time. Jalen Duren just feels like a natural fit to the Spurs for me.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Best player on the board.
Yeah.
A position of need for them, especially. And I think Jalen Duren could still turn into be a great player. So,
you look at
Murray. I mean, it would be great.
They need power forwards on this team bad. When Doug McDermott is your starting 4, it's rough. It's a rough time out here. So.
Yeah, and I think besides Chet, I mean, he's probably your best traditional big in this draft.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, Chet. Yeah, he's something, man. But now the Washington Wizards, guys. I say this is our last pick because I think from there, you're getting into semantics. You're getting a little deeper. For the 10th pick, what are you guys feeling for the Washington Wizards? A team that we don't really know where they're at. I think they need to get a shooting guard. Something tells me. I think they're good on point guards. But just looking at the construction of this team. I mean, obviously, Bradley Beal's their starting shooting guard, or he's starting at point.
He's at the 1.
Yeah. I mean, wings-wise, you're doing okay. I mean, Kyle Kuzma and Porzingis are definitely going to be out there. I mean, if I'm looking at what they need, I think you go get a guard, one of the better guards available on this, in my opinion. You could go with Jaden Hardy from the Ignite. I think that would be a good risk. I could also make the case for Ty Washington Jr. out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
What are you guys feeling?
I agree with you. I'm good with both. I mean, honestly, especially with the Washington Wizards, they, like you said, they have Porzingis, that fat contract, Hachimura, and then Denny. Is it Denny? How do you say his name? Avitsa? I don't know how to say his name. It's
Yeah.
complicated. It looks a whole lot. That's stressful looking at that name. But with the Wizards, they definitely need help in the backcourt, especially. So, I mean, we'll see. I think Hardy is one of my favorite guys in this draft, especially if you're looking at 11 to 15 range. But again, I don't think you can go wrong with Ty either. I think he's a more true point guard, I think, in my opinion. So. Yeah, it's whatever they want to go. It's your flavor. And I'll go with Jaden Hardy. I'll put my vote there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. How about you, Troy?
So I still have AJ Griffith on my board, so I'm going to go there. But with this available board, I'm going to go with Ty as well. I think we saw a great season out of him in Kentucky, and I thought he facilitated the ball pretty well. And I guess he makes sense to that Washington team. Yeah.
So Jeff, you go Jaden Hardy. Troy, you're going Ty Washington.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Jaden Hardy. I say, you know what? Get the potential backup plan. Because you never know with Bradley Beal. You really don't. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, in my opinion, go get the best player on the board. You don't exactly have anything that's inspiring to look at. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, this is our top 10. As of now, we have Chet Holmgren going number 1 to the Orlando Magic, followed by Jabari Smith for the Thunder, Paulo to the Rockets, Keegan Murray for the Kings, Jaden Ivey for the Detroit Pistons, AJ Griffin for Duke, Shaedon Sharpe for the Pistons. I mean, the Trailblazers.
Guys,
this is a good board, in my opinion.
I was going to say that. I'm looking at these guys. I'm like, guys, this is deep. Like 10. Yeah. These 10 right here. I like these 10.
Yeah. This is a good top 10.
You can make an argument for AJ Griffin. You mentioned Keegan Murray. Obviously, we have him at 4. Shaedon Sharpe, Benedict Mathurin, Jalen Duren. You can Jaden Hardy. I don't think you can really make an argument for inside that top 10, but he's still a great player. So that's like 4 guys. Then you can make an argument for the Pistons at 5. So
absolutely
good draft.
So, and we're gonna do. So we did this draft as of this will be coming out on May 25th. By the way, I do want to point out we are currently 7 minutes into the Boston-Miami game. And at this current time, Miami has 1 point. Anyway, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable about my prediction there. Anyway, this is a pretty good top 10 board. We're going to do another one the week of the draft. So a month from now, we will revisit, do another mock draft, and we will look at what changes, what are we feeling by then, because we're going to have a lot of different conversations with a lot of different people with a lot of different scenarios in play. And we don't know who we're going to be. We don't know what all picks we're going to have. We don't know where in the draft we could also be picking. We don't know what Troy Weaver's feeling right now. So the more information we get, the more scouting we can do, the more we can learn about these prospects, I think the better it's going to serve us all. But I would just wait. I would just urge, do the homework, do your studying, do your best, because we want to make sure that we're making good decisions regarding these prospects. And there's a lot of good players available in this draft. So
yeah. And I want people to know too. I mean, if you guys have, I know people do a lot of mock drafts. I do them. We're obviously doing them. Comment down below if you disagree with any of these picks, because you can have a conversation with these picks. Like you can debate where guys are going to go, and that's what makes this draft so great. So anybody that, if you're coming into this channel and you're watching and you're a fan of the Kings, whoever the hell it is, the Pacers, whoever it is, the Trailblazers, comment what your team wants below, because we're taking the best players available. That's how we're thinking.
Absolutely. Yeah,
we're just trying what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. But guys, before we get to before we take our journey and end the show at Mount Rushmore as we usually do, we got to talk about the big news today, because according to Woj and other sources, the Denver Nuggets president Tim Connolly has agreed to a deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves that will make him one of the highest paid and highest compensated executives in the history of the league. Significant coup for the Minnesota franchise. So, in addition to a 5-year, $40 million deal, he will also get equity and ownership, meaning that he will have stake in the team. And in addition, this was something that was really pushed and pursued by the minority ownership group that just came in and took over. Now, Minnesota gets their guy to come in and run the franchise. We lead the overall direction of the organization and try and build around Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. Apparently, it upset Jeff so much that he left the podcast. But Troy, while we wait for Jeff to come back, I want to start with you. What are your thoughts on what's happening in Minnesota? What are your thoughts on the overall direction that they have? And what do you think of this signing? Yeah, I was like, This upset Jeff so much that he had to leave.
Well, I think
Timberwolves. No, I'm just joking.
I think
Troy, what are your thoughts?
how he's structured and organized Denver has worked out to a degree. I mean, I'm not worked out probably long term of what they want to do, but at least putting some pieces around.
I mean,
Joker.
he did find that Nikola Jokic guy in the second round. I think he deserves some. Yeah, he drafted that guy during a Taco Bell commercial and became an MVP of the league. I feel like that deserves
Murray,
some credit.
Michael Porter Jr.
So he definitely has a niche for finding talent, and I think with this Minnesota team that's what they need is more talent to go around. And guys, we saw him put up an excellent performance against Memphis in the first round, so I think that needs to be credited. Of he's walking into some decent company right now as a potential contender in the West. So I think building pieces around those guys is going to be his biggest challenge.
I mean, they gave this guy the bag.
Right.
They gave him the bag.
I'm curious to see what he's going to do with D'Angelo Russell too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this hire has a lot to do with, new ownership taking part with the Minnesota Timberwolves. They obviously want to turn things around as well.
Right.
So they're like, listen, we got to swing big. I know A-Rod has part in the Minnesota Timberwolves. So if you go out and get a guy like Tim Connolly, you understand that, we have talent, but something's not gelling. Something's not working. I don't know if I like Chris Finch. I don't know if I'm sold on Chris Finch. And Timberwolves fans should be excited because now you have a guy like we had in Troy Weaver. This is a similar situation. Not that, the pedigree of Tim Connolly or nothing, but you're getting a guy that can come into your organization and you already have a coach in place. He can evaluate him. You can put your trust in Tim Connolly. He obviously, they've been doing a great job over in Denver, keeping consistency at the coaching position. And so Timberwolves need this. They need stability, and they got it.
Well, and the other thing too, and the other piece I want to talk about before we get to our video, we have to talk about Deandre Ayton, guys, because he has been in conversations in the Detroit Pistons proximity. I did a video, I should say, that came out on Monday that is doing really well. Appreciate all the support on it, by the way, but go check it out if you've not seen it already. I kind of make the case for bringing Deandre Ayton into the fold and bringing him into the Detroit Pistons organization. But Jeff, I want to start with you. What are your thoughts on the Detroit Pistons being the favorites currently right now for the betting odds for DeAndre Ayton's new home, if not in Phoenix? And should that be an avenue that we explore regardless of what we would have to pay?
Yeah, I mean, I would like it. And a part of me, obviously, we have to wait till after the draft, because if you trade for that 7th pick and you get a Jalen Duren, all this goes out the window.
Right.
Part of it. So, because now you have guys in cheaper. You don't have to pay.
Sharp.
You don't. Okay, now we're talking. All right.
Now we're talking.
But if with DeAndre Ayton, people always look at the money you're paying them, and I understand that. But you have to understand the Pistons right now don't have to pay these guys yet. Mm-hmm. And you can get a veteran center who can come in and give you 18. Like you said, Sean, you explained it perfectly. The culture is important. I get the Suns have a culture with what they're building right now, but you're getting DeAndre Ayton to come into Detroit, fit in, and you have those, like you brought up in the video as well, like the question marks about his mentality. The guy is so young, former number 1 overall pick. If you can add a talent like that next to Cade, and we loved when Marvin Bagley got here because he was a lob threat. Imagine the damage that you can do with Cade and DeAndre Ayton. And I get it. Easy made this argument as well. Well, a player, you already know what he's going to be. DeAndre's going to be an 18-10 guy for the rest of us. You don't know that.
He's 23.
He is 23. Yeah. He could be a 20-10 guy. We don't know.
The guy who we've seen take over playoff games.
Yeah. And a guy also, the Pistons, and you brought this up again, Sean. I got to give you credit because you've been nailing this. The Pistons have been outscored how many times in the paint? And I get it. You need size. But to have a guy like DeAndre Ayton who can go get you easy buckets, shoots 60% from the field, efficient, can hit free throws. He's not a bad free throw shooter. And I think he actually has the capacity and the ability to space out the floor. I mean, trust me, I know he has a jump shot. I've seen it. Didn't take a whole lot in Phoenix. But I think there's a lot more to his game to unlock, and I like the fit. I think in Detroit, playing next to Cade, he wouldn't be kind of, it's your CP3, there's Devin Booker. He's kind of in the background. He'd be more involved in this offense, certainly a lot more. So I like the fit. And that's not only just looking at the class, because he's the best free agent available. I get he's restricted, but if we're talking about going out and getting a free agent, if you draft Jaden Ivey and go sign DeAndre Ayton and you keep Jeremy Grant, are you joking me? Like that's a good team. That's a playing team. So yes, to answer the question, I would be completely okay with it. I would just have to wait till the draft to see really what the Pistons do. That's what I got to wait till.
Absolutely. And I want to add to that. You said one word that I loved is the word unlock. And Sean, you mentioned this in your video, but we know what a good point guard can do to Deandre Ayton in unlocking aspects of his game. And we know Cade Cunningham is capable of doing that. So
to
to
another
me,
level
that's
that Chris Paul couldn't even, just because of his versatility and everything he could do athletically on the court. Like Cade just has more to his game.
So that's what excites me the most, I think, about a potential DeAndre Ayton in Detroit. So it's a matter of, does he want to leave Phoenix? Do they want to run it back? Say they won Game 7 somehow, some way against Dallas. It'd be different. So the fact that you lost that one game and, here you are as a potential free agent as far as signing with a different team this summer.
Changes everything, especially with how Game 7 went down.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Monty Williams looked pissed.
Yeah.
And obviously I know I think people are running too far with this video game story. We don't know the truth of it. It's just reports. If it's true, obviously it's not great, but listen.
And the culture
he's
of Detroit.
23.
Yeah.
Like what 23-year-old doesn't stay up too late playing video games? Like that's what they do. Like guys, like we can figure that out. And here's the thing. He's averaging 18 and 10 while doing all this crap.
Yeah.
He does, he sleeps
right.
well,
and I was going to say, I think he's a Troy Weaver guy, to be honest with you. And I think he's a Dwayne Casey kind of potential guy too. You guys mentioned previously on your other podcast about OG and Pascal Siakam being, kind of that wing, bigger guy for stretch. And I know DeAndre Ayton's a 5, but what I'm getting at is those are the type of potential guys who can unlock their games with a coach like Dwayne Casey, and of course we know Cade Cunningham too. So Sean, I'm all for it. I hope we don't get 7 and get Jalen Durham, because I hope we can get 8 in the summer.
I just think we can do better. I really do. Like I like Durham, but in my opinion, at a certain point, we just got to stop getting reclamation projects and you go get the surefire thing.
Yes.
Which is a guy who was the #1 overall pick, a guy who was drafted because of his value and what he brings in the paint. If you're wanting to go get a rim protector, here's the thing, man. Yeah, you're going to have to pay money to go get him, but you're getting what you pay for, brother.
Yes.
What you're paying for is a future with one of the best young big men we've seen come to this league in the past 10 years.
100%.
And I bet every dollar I got that it matters to, and you guys know this as well, it matters to players that you're wanted. And DeAndre Ayton, clearly, from what the Suns have been showing us, who knows what the contract negotiations are going to go.
Right.
But this is a former #1 overall pick that hasn't been extended. He's the only top 5 pick that hasn't been extended. He feels disrespected. And if a team like the Pistons pitch him, like, listen, you're going to be one of our franchise, one of the key players of our future, you don't think that man's going to listen, especially if you, and this is why I'm so thankful for Troy Weaver for getting Cade Cunningham. Because he's going to be the reason that DeAndre Ayton comes over. So
and here's the other thing too, guys. And here's what we have to consider. First of all, $38 million comes off the books next year. So we have even more financial flexibility going forward. Second of all, you're only signing him to a 4-year deal. So even if you're paying him all this money and he comes in and it doesn't work out, guess
27.
what? Yeah, guess what? He'll be 27 at that point. You can make a decision. You could probably even sign him for a cheaper deal if he doesn't play as well if you wanted to. And in addition, Cade Cunningham's still going to be what, 25?
Yeah.
So you're still going to have 13 more years of prime Cade Cunningham to deal with. Whatever happens, I think you just take the swing. And if you need to move on, you can move on, because we're looking at this league. If Davis Bertans can be traded, anybody can be traded.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, you take the swing, because and it's a calculated swing, because you look at a bigger picture in the Eastern Conference. Who do you need to plan for down the road? Giannis, Tatum, Butler, Embiid.
You need someone to guard Embiid.
You need a good interior big. And in my opinion, as far as defensive interior bigs, he's top 3, top 5.
And we haven't even talked about Cleveland. They got 7-foot monsters all over the damn court over there. They got Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. They got size and size and size.
Go get your muscle, but more importantly, go get a talent. Imagine having both Marvin Bagley and DeAndre Ayton on the court together, man.
It's Ben and Rashid, baby.
And Isaiah Stewart coming off the bench. If teams want to go small, okay. I have a big off the bench that can go small. You have the opposites, but really good. They're going to be able to. You can even play. If Isaiah has a jump shot, they can play together.
In my
so
opinion,
who knows?
if we bring in Ayton, get a guy like Ivy or Sharp, and then you have Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, whether it's Jeremy or whether it's someone else, in my opinion, that's a playoff team, man.
Yeah.
So I think I at a certain point you just got to take the swing, and in my opinion, this is a good swing.
Great swing right here with Ayton. Yep.
And anybody that's watching that is probably watching this and going, "What in the hell are these guys thinking?" Please comment down below an other option. Like if you don't, I hate people that say, "No, I wouldn't pay Deandre Ayton." Okay, then what would you do? Then please explain, because if your objective is to just sit on your ass with all this money, it ain't gonna work out.
And also, I'm sorry. I want to be nice about this, but I'm already knowing what comments are coming. But can we please not pretend that Mitchell Robinson and DeAndre Ayton are anywhere near the same?
Correct.
Like, because
Preach.
tell me, Jeff, tell me, Troy, what is Mitchell Robinson's offensive game? I could go over the rim, and I can go over the rim.
It's 2 feet.
Also,
it's 2 feet.
I can also go over the rim. Like, that man, he's not going to do anything offensively. Mo Bamba, are you kidding me? You want to get Mo Bamba? His rap song's better than him, and that song's ass.
And one thing people aren't talking about enough with DeAndre Ayton is he can last an entire season. Mitchell Robinson hasn't been able to last an entire season. So now you're getting durability. And people don't sleep on durability. You're giving it. That's so important. The best ability is availability. I mean, everybody knows that. So DeAndre Ayton can play 82, come out and give you tough minutes. You know, he can fix the rebounding. He can fix your interior defense. And all you got to pay him is how much you guys think? Probably close to $30 million. I mean, yes, it's a lot of money, but in a rebuild you're in currently, you can afford it.
You get what you're paying for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, in my opinion, go shore up your defense. Go get your surefire big man for years to come. Go get your pick and roll partner with Cade Cunningham. Go get a guy who can take over the game offensively if you need him to. Go get a guy who's the #1 overall pick for a reason. Go get a guy who could possibly even stretch his game past the 3-point line as his career goes on. And if he does that, man. So, yeah, I'm glad we're in agreement on that, because we got to take a swing at some point. If we're looking at swings, this is one of the best swings the Detroit Pistons can take.
Are you bringing up swings, Sean, just like Joe Dumars had to do? Are you bringing up swings?
Oh, believe me, we are.
Because I know somebody doesn't.
Tonight we're getting. Oh, baby, we're getting into that.
Oh,
Troy.
Troy,
we're not gonna subject that to you right now. We're gonna have the good vibes. This is from half court, baby. This is the podcast. This is a good vibe session. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. We might be at 1,100 subscribers by the time this episode comes out. That's crazy.
Man, love the peoples.
Yeah, but Troy, what are we celebrating today?
Yeah, so the league's been really pushing hard for this summer and the spring of looking at the WNBA season. I know ESPN and TNT are really advertising that well. So guys, you know, the NBA really pushed the WNBA in the late 90s of their development, and really it hasn't been given the credit that it needs to, I think, in the past 20 years. But let's just say it. Let's just do it. The most basic, best thing we could think of. Let's do the top 4, so Mount Rushmore, the Mount Rushmore of best WNBA players of all time.
Oh man, you just went for it. I'm gonna go.
Hey, listen, no disrespect, Troy, but I hope you have the list, because I don't got a list. All right,
I'm gonna start with the one name I know. Or the one name I know.
You're probably gonna take it.
I'm the biggest WNBA fan in this podcast.
Well, no. I like some modern players. I like the Aces. I am a huge New York Liberty fan.
Kelsey Plum.
Yeah. Sabrina Ionescu is my jam. I would buy a jersey of her today if I could. However, all-time WNBA, different story. However, let's start with Diana Taurasi.
Yeah.
Winner.
Yeah. That's the easy one.
Absolutely. Kind of your Chris Paul or Magic Johnson, probably, of the WNBA, in my opinion. Yeah.
Had the Kobe type Mamba style mentality.
Yeah.
Comes in and plays a brutal basketball. I kind of saw like Tony Parker, in my opinion.
Okay.
But like you can kind of go with that too. I mean, there's a lot of good fits and comparisons. I mean, Diana Taurasi's just a bucket. I mean, just a winner at every phase of the game. So
gotcha.
Yep. I'm gonna go Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, I'm gonna go another popular one, Candace Parker. I think
Yeah.
she's a girl that
Shout out Candace.
really can.
She's
shoot
good
the
on
ball-
TV, by the way.
Shoot,
Really
shoot the ball and great on
Chicago
TV.
Sky, man, they were pretty fun last year to watch. That finals.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think she's a stat pounder too, in a good way, not a Russell Westbrook way. So I think so. I think someone like that needs to be on my list. So Candace Parker for sure.
Yeah. Hey, how about another one? Maya Moore. She came in, only played a limited career, kicked ass, ran the Minnesota Lynx dynasty when she was in the league, and then retired to go do mission work and do whatever the heck she wanted. So like she literally just was like, I'm out. I don't feel like doing this anymore. Exactly. Yeah, she was a badass.
And then I'm probably going to we haven't even give Jeff a shot, so I'm actually going to give him a shot.
No, you can take it.
He's deferring.
Okay.
He's full.
Sean took the only two, and not took because I was like, you could say it, Sean, because Sean's gonna. I know it's only two people I know.
Jeff and I are just very in sync. We know each other very. Honestly, though, we are. It's kind of creepy.
I'm gonna go with probably the Michael Jordan of the WNBA, and that's gonna be Lisa Leslie.
Oh yeah. Sue Bird, by the way, strong honorable mention
for sure. I think Lisa Leslie, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure she was the first girl to ever dunk a ball in a game.
Let me check Ball Sack Sports. I'm sure they'll have that answer.
Yeah, but I think Lisa Leslie, early champion, maybe not Michael Jordan, but maybe Bill Russell, like kind of your first star, of the league, and someone who to me represents everything that the league. I don't think the league would be even in existence anymore if it weren't for Lisa Leslie. Just how much she was able to influence the game. So,
guys, I think we should start doing a segment where we start watching some form of WNBA basketball.
Maybe not every podcast, but maybe
maybe like once a month or once every other month we do, or like every other week we do like a highlight of like what we like in the WNBA, or like crazy clip in the you know what I mean? Something like that. Cause listen, man, it is basketball and there's a lot of good basketball players that are women in the WNBA. Everything that they're doing, they deserve some shine. They deserve some praise, some love.
And honestly, we just thought of the fact that, it's a little bit sad that basketball is ending shortly for NBA, but guys, we have all summer of this. We don't have to just watch baseball all summer.
Yeah.
We got WNBA.
And I want to say this too. A lot of people, I'm glad you guys are respectful. Number one, but number two, you acknowledge the fact that these WNBA players are insanely skilled. They're very good.
Yeah.
Well, so fundamentals are better.
Yes.
Way better.
This is what I want to get across to people, because everyone likes to throw shots at the WNBA, and they don't understand what these women have to go through to just at least be on the same stage as men, because it's so dominant, the NBA. And there's a business
side. Brittany Griner, by the way.
And I get all of that, but I've worked with some people. I don't want to name names, but one particularly I was on the morning show with said they, not going to give a sex, would rather watch, I believe it was the USFL over the WNBA. And I looked at I looked at them and I said, bruh, why? I would be fine with watching a WNBA game. People act like it's the most boring thing. Yes, it might not be as exciting as an NBA game, but it's still basketball. Can you not watch basketball?
It's still really high competitive, high intensity basketball. If you literally, first of all, if you're a fan of the game of basketball, because if you're actually watching the game, it's great basketball. It's great hoops. It's good action. If you watch college basketball, there's no reason you shouldn't enjoy the WNBA.
Right.
I
would argue it's fundamentally. I mean, we just already said this, but like it's better basketball. But I mean, the college hype.
The coaching is high level. Yeah. The play is high level. I mean, the players are all top notch.
They play hard.
Yeah,
all those women play hard, man.
Yeah, and a lot of these players have to go play an off season somewhere else overseas to get their true money, because they really come and play in the WNBA for the love of the game. So those are some of the things, and that's why you're seeing people like Brittany Griner in custody right now over in Russia, wrongful custody. And so free Brittany Griner. But seriously, Troy, great segment. I think we should talk more about WNBA going forward. I'd also love at some point in the offseason, like I said, like I want to do like a book club series, or like watching like playoff series, or like going back and watching finals. That would be sick.
I'm down.
I'm down.
Like, I think we should make our first one. I think we should go back and watch like the 08 and 010 finals. I think we should relive the Lakers. Celtics
those were
rivalry.
fun games, guys.
Yeah, I think that would be really fun. So let us know what you want to do in the comment section down below. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming to the channel. I can't really hint at what yet, but What I will say, we're hoping to have some form of membership program soon. So be sure to be tuning in that. But guys, this is From Half Court. For each and every week, myself, Jeff, and Troy sit down and talk all things NBA basketball. If you like that, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Hey, it's my birthday. So for a gift, did you know there's a donation link every single episode of From Half Court down below? If you want to support the podcast, click that link. We would very much appreciate it. But for now, follow these guys on Twitter. Troy at TroySergey44, Jeff at JeffIFrady, and myself at Sean Half Court. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time from Half Court. Be sure to subscribe.